Hello and welcome to the Talkin Bits Podcast.
Yeah.
Nathaniel told me to give it a second before I said hello, but I just want it to be known that I live by my own rules.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I instructed him on how to improve the show, and he intentionally did not do that.
I just think it's kind of funny if somebody the first thing they see is just me, no context.
You know, that is fitting though, because I would say our relationship in comedy is I give you helpful advice and you don't take it.
Pretty much.
And I think that's kind of sums us up.
Pretty much. Hey, so Talkin Bits Podcast, Michael Rose with Nathaniel Buer, and our special guest today.
Our special guest, one of the most requested guests of the show so far. Of the 30 we've had a lot of awesome guests. A lot of them are coming back. One thing I'm always asked is, are you going to get Chasey B on this show?
Oh, heck yeah.
Welcome, Chasey B.
That's awesome.
To the
Chasey B. Hutton, how's it going, man?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Are you excited to be here to talk some bits today?
Dude, I'm super excited.
Yeah,
I love
man.
this.
That's
love
awesome.
these mugs.
Yeah.
This setup.
We're looking
They're
at
for sale on our website. I'm just kidding. We don't have a website, and we're not selling them. So
it's 3 of 3. You've got an
my
original
hopes
right
up.
there.
You do.
That's right.
Hey, so just want to bring attention to the lights because I just want to.
Yeah.
Chasey B picked out the lights today.
That's right.
So here
We've
we go.
got a Chasey B themed light show going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fitting. How have you listened to the show at all before today?
Oh, yeah. And then I saw the clips. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, that is super awesome.
Yeah, man. You're here. It's time.
We have a
yeah.
good time.
It's long overdue, I think. We've gotten some good guests, but it's for sure. Just last night, I was talking before we pressed record. I was at the club at Blue Ridge, and I was talking to Malcolm. Shout out to Malcolm, another
Heck yeah,
future
Malcolm
guest.
Franklin.
What's up, Malcolm?
Heck yeah, Malcolm. And he was like, when are you having Chasey B on? I was like, actually, tomorrow.
Oh,
Actually,
heck
it's
yeah.
funny that you
Episode 33.
33.
Larry
right.
Bird jersey number 33.
Yep.
Remember LFO?
That's perfect.
It's like the great Larry Bird jersey 33.
Oh, I
33.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, the
33.
LFO Girls of Summer. Look,
I-
hope y'all don't mind. I brought my girl with me.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Purple lean.
He's got the drip on. He's got the necklace. He's here.
I have
Yeah.
something. I texted Nathaniel yesterday, so the time changed today. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
texted Nathaniel, and I don't know if this is true, but do you use a physical alarm clock? You set your alarms on your phones?
I'll set my alarm on my phone.
Damn it!
I knew
I
it.
was really
I
hoping.
knew it. We had a bet going over whether or not you use a real alarm
I was
clock or
like,
your phone.
I texted
yeah.
Nathaniel. I was like, "Do you think Chasey B knows the time change tonight? And do you think he uses a physical alarm and is going to forget to change it?"
Yeah.
So
I
was
know.
like, "He's going to be here an hour early," but you were not. You
I did not
were right on
know
time.
about the time change. I did not.
I was actually late, though.
Well,
Well, no.
I was giving you credit.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think so.
He was talking about hours behind.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. No. We're good.
It's okay. Nathaniel's always late. So
It's officially spring, guys. Isn't that exciting? Is that how that works? Is that
Oh,
is that what that means, or is the first day of spring different than the?
I think the first
I
day
don't
of
know.
spring is actually maybe a week or so.
Oh,
away.
okay. It's almost by the time this comes out, it'll be spring. That's cool.
But
It doesn't feel like spring. It looks like
Little
shit up.
Phil, he saw, it's early spring, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hunky
The
Dory
groundhog.
Phil or
Groundhog?
whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
the,
celebrate Groundhog Day?
the beaver
That was the whitest thing ever. Like, I did, like, my friend, he sent me this link, and I clicked on it. Yeah, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh, my God, it's like all white people.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Punxsutawney
the
Phil
whitest-
is a white phenomenon.
Yeah.
That's
It's
true.
the whitest thing ever.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have never heard a black dude be like that. Did you hear
Yeah.
that he saw his shadow? Like
Yeah.
they don't give a
I've
fuck.
never heard anybody be like,
Yeah.
"You hear except in like
Oh,
the
no?
second grade, we watched it live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We watched the whole thing.
I just watched the Bill Murray movie every year.
Oh,
I have
yeah,
to watch
yeah,
it.
Bill
It's so
Murray, yeah.
good.
Can I confess something?
You've never seen
I've
it?
never seen Groundhog Day. I've
Oh,
seen
man.
Happy Death Day, which is the same vibe.
No, it's not.
So
No, it's not the same.
you know,
Groundhog Day is so good. Haley had never seen it either. She's never seen any movie ever. Shout out to my girlfriend who is culturally illiterate. But I made her watch it last year for the first time, and then this year she was like, "We have to watch it again." Like she loves that movie now. It's
Is
good.
that like your every year on Groundhog Day?
Every
you just
year.
do that? That's
Every
pretty
year.
cool.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I watch Die Hard every Christmas, but you know,
Oh, heck
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool too.
Different vibe.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen Groundhog's Day, though.
It holds
I have
up.
to admit.
It's good.
My
Yeah.
favorite Bill Murray movie, though, is What About Bob? The Little Baby Steps.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
that either.
That's good too.
Oh, man. Yeah, you got to watch that. That's awesome.
All his stuff is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm weird on like 80s movies. I'm just not. That's like
Yeah.
the gap in my movie history for some reason. There's a couple like I've seen like Shawshank, like all the Like
I haven't seen Shawshank Redemption.
Ever seen Shawshank?
I think it's 91, but that's all right.
Is it? So that my point stands up. Then I'm just 80s. I'm screwed. 90s. I'm good. You never seen Shawshank though?
No, I haven't.
It's good.
I remember Last Man on Earth. You remember that with Will Forte?
Yeah.
And he's like, and so it was a Shawshank Redemption. It was like a running joke on there, but that was a very funny show.
That was a good show. Forte is great. Do you you mentioned Bill Murray, like that movie that you love. Is he a big influence for you in comedy?
Oh yeah, well, as far as like I've always admired Bill Murray.
Yeah,
his acting, from his acting, and then just in the characters he plays, and then just as far as comedy goes, like, pretty much all of 90s SNL is like my jam. Eddie Murphy, I love Eddie Murphy. Like, who doesn't love Eddie Murphy? Like he's
Me too.
And then Seinfeld, like, I mean, God, I just watched all. Yeah, like I just watched all the Seinfeld.
The show.
Yeah, when it would come on. Yeah, that was a big thing.
He's huge too. Yeah. He's big for a lot of folks. We've had, we're over 30 guests deep now on the show. And a lot of them would mention Seinfeld too as an influence. Is there one that sticks out to you that you think is kind of unique for you? Like maybe a comedian you loved growing up that not a lot of people know or something like that? We've had a lot of the same answers is why I asked, but a lot of the answers are correct. I mean,
oddly enough, the first comedian that I ever watched on TV was Gallagher. Like,
really?
Yeah, that was when I was young, and he just had those watermelons, and I was like, "Oh,
well, if that's not full circle,
I was like, what
Chasey B, you know why that's funny?
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil it, but of course,
I call that bit the forbidden fruits. I call it forbidden fruits. But like. I was just thinking, what is he doing with all these watermelons?
And he just passed away not long ago too. Yeah. Gallagher. Yeah. Now that is a first.
I think so.
I think Gallagher is a first.
Gallagher's a great one.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
We've had everything, man. Obviously, there's like Mitch Hedberg is one that comes up a lot for folks, and Seinfeld and stuff. We've had a lot of SNL references. We've had Three Stooges was one answer.
Richard Pryor.
Gallagher. A lot of Richard Pryor, of course. Yeah. Lenny Bruce. And then Gerard mentioned Rodney Dangerfield, which I think is a first somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a first.
Yeah.
Gerard, I know I talked about it last week, but Gerard, if you're listening, I still think about that Wheezy reference constantly.
Let me go ahead and put this out there. So, do you know Gerard Donnell? Do you know him from Knoxville?
Yeah.
Sweet dude. He's the best. He was on a couple weeks ago, and during the show, we talked about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh yeah, have you seen that?
It's like a horror movie.
No, I haven't.
Neither of you
seen that? I've seen the thing on.
Yeah.
What? It was on Peacock, but I don't know.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Blood and Honey.
So apparently, I can't believe I just remember this. Yesterday, I woke up to a DM from Gerard. Haven't talked to him since he was on the show. He's moved away to Wisconsin. God bless him. Gerard, we love you. Woke up yesterday to a DM from Gerard, and it's just a link to local showtimes because Blood and Honey is back in theaters.
Oh, wow.
He just sent me ticket information.
I love
with
Gerard.
no comment, no words. It was just a link to where I could go watch Blood and Honey.
Do you want to go see that together? I will go see that with you.
And we will talk about it on the show. Yes,
oh, my God. We're going to have a special episode. It's just going to be episode 35, Blood and Honey. Dude, I have Peacock. We'll go upstairs and watch it.
We should record it in the theater. We should take microphones. Yeah.
Gosh.
Blood and Honey. Are you a horror movie fan?
I love it.
Yeah. I like all genres, really. But I'll be honest, like horror movies used to scare the crap out of me.
Me too.
They kind of still do.
Yeah.
But there was a period when I would just go to them and I would watch them. Like I watched The Conjuring 2, I think it was.
Very funny story about the first Conjuring.
I just laughed like during it somewhat. Yeah, because
that's kind of scary. Actually,
like my dad had just died, so like, and I didn't get over that for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And so during that period, like scary stuff, just I don't know. Like I found that I wasn't afraid of it. Like,
yeah.
But then, like as I was coming out of that funk or whatever, like scary movies get me again. Like, I mean,
Do you have a favorite all-time scary movie? Because I feel like that's a genre where it's pretty easy for most people to go, that this one is my favorite.
I got a favorite.
Oh, man. I remember Trolls 2 was like one of the ones that scared the crap out of me when I was younger.
Yeah.
But now I can watch it and just have,
Is that a scary? That's not a scary movie, right?
Well, they turned it into a comedy because, like, where it was considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah.
They turned it into,
I
like...
think he's talking about a different Trolls than you and I thought. We thought the animated sing-along.
Oh, no.
Dude, I'm just like, Trolls?
Yeah.
What?
No, this is from the 80s. Yeah, like...
Okay.
Yeah.
We definitely both thought you were like, you know what scares the shit out of me?
I was about to just click. I was about to end the podcast, but you know what? We're good.
Trolls.
We're either going to unpack the crazy thing you just said, or we're going to end it. Yeah. No.
I'm not really a horror movie guy. It's never been I don't enjoy being scared a whole lot, but I do like psychological thriller stuff that kind of like just plays with your brain. Like The Shining is just probably my all-time favorite because it's just so weird and fucked up. And
well, that's Stanley Kubrick. Like Stanley Kubrick,
so weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't make me leave. Yeah.
I have a funny story about the first Conjuring movie. So,
what year is that movie? Do we know? Because
I do know actually. The first Conjuring came out, and it'll
you
make
real
sense.
excited right
No,
there.
it'll make sense why I know. The first one came out in 2013. I know that because my wife and I had just started dating.
Got it.
And
when you were 11. Got it.
Yes. No, we had seen it once in theaters, and then it was something we were supposed to be doing something outside, but it was like cold and rainy. Yeah. And we're like, oh, we don't really want to do this. Let's just go see a movie. And we went and saw it again. Because it's that good of a movie. Mm-hmm. But the second time we were there, this very, very large man, about 10, 15 minutes into the movie, something scary happened.
Wait. Was he bigger than me?
Oh, he was like...
Compare him to me.
He was like 6'6", like linebacker, like 6'6".
We're just trying to get a feel for it. We just want to...
Like, I would not... You could not pay me to fight this man. Size, okay? So he's like the biggest dude I've ever seen. About 15 minutes into it, something scary happens, whatever. Dude stands up and says, fuck this, and just runs out. And never saw it again.
Oh, wow.
The funniest thing I've ever seen.
Some people can't handle it.
Dude,
well, I used to work in a movie theater when I was in high school, and I'd see that all the time where like people would come out. Normally it was teenagers who were just like, oh, sir, can we have our money back, please? Like they'd be all tore up because whatever was out scared them, you know, probably Incredibles 2 at the time or whatever.
Or Trolls 3.
Trolls 2.
Hey, you want to know what really got me? The scaredest I've ever been at a movie theater watching a movie.
Dark Knight in Denver?
No, this is back in the day. Like,
we'll be right back.
Yeah, this is back in the day. Like I'm like 5 years old. I'm like 5 years old. Me and my brother. This was back when movie theaters used to sell out.
Right.
You know, this was like 1989.
Yeah.
Hell it might have been 1990.
Yeah.
But Adam's Family was in theaters.
Yeah.
Well, it was sold out. Well, the only other movie was Cape Fear, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
Had Robert De Niro, you know, the iconic.
Great movie.
He's just, you know, a creepy dude.
That's him with the tattoos, right?
Yeah, the tattoos and the Hawaiian shirt, and he's just laughing in that theater, smoking a cigar.
Hell yeah.
Well, when he, spoiler alert, but when he bites
35 years old, it's okay.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it.
Bites that woman's face.
Right.
Like, I lose it. I totally lose it. I run out. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, I run out. Like, I'm crying. My brother has to run after me. He's like 10 or 11. But, they asked us before we went back to watch that movie. He was like, is he going to be okay with that? And my brother was like, yeah, he's going to be fine. And I was not fine.
We did go see the new It when I was in high school. It came out. And we went as a group of like 20, and I was pissing myself the entire time.
Really?
But because we were in a group of 20, I was playing it cool. I didn't want to get up and run out, you know. But yeah, when we left, I was like, I'm not going to sleep.
I didn't think it was that. Are you scared of clowns, though?
Not necessarily. I just think there was a lot of jump scares in that one, and jump scares always.
It was pretty calm.
Always.
I tell you, the most scared I've ever been at a movie in my life, and I'm not. A part of me thinks it was The Village. This was when I was real young. I was like 7 or 8.
Dark Knight in Denver.
Shut up. You're not gonna get me twice with that, dude. That was the most fucked up joke.
I know we might cut it. I don't know.
No, that's staying, dude. Holy shit.
You'll have to tell me about Dark Knight in Denver after this.
That's all right.
So I can be in on
I don't know if we can.
Yeah, you can. You got
all right,
to.
We'll tell.
Everybody's wanting to know now.
No, they know.
A couple people know.
They know.
A couple people might know.
Yeah. Anyway, most scared I've ever been. I think it may have been The Village, but I'm not sure because I've gone back and watched The Village and I don't remember this scene. But I was like 7 or 8. My parents were watching
The Village.
I feel like it was, but then I've seen it and I've seen the movie since and I've not seen the scene.
I don't think I've seen The Village.
It's a very good. It's a very good movie. It's M. Night Shyamalan. Like it's a very good movie.
Gotcha.
It's not even really that scary. There's like one.
Was the main character dead the whole time in that one as well?
No.
Oh. Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to know. That's cool.
I'll tell you
What
this.
was that noise? Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sure.
That was dead air. What is that noise?
It's just a
I don't know what
a
is
phantom noise in Michael's house right now.
I don't
Yeah,
hear noise.
The ghost of films past. Something to do with the washer.
It was not the washer. Anyway, so I'm like 7 or 8, and I'm like, I was like just going to the bathroom. Like my parents were watching the movie. I wasn't even watching the movie, and I was just like going to the bathroom or like coming back from the bathroom, and I just walk by and I see like I don't even know how to describe this. Like there's this like weird. There's this like weird like gumball looking kid, like looks like a gumball crawling out of a well and just pointing at shit. I don't know what movie this is. I have no idea.
And this has traumatized
that
you.
sounds like The Ring.
And it was not the. I know it wasn't The Ring. The reason
it does kind of sound like
the reason I think it was The Village because they were definitely in like a village setting. You know, like Dragon Ball Z when we were kids. I know you remember
what
Kid
a wild
Kid
left
Boo
turn.
Kid Boo. That's what it looked like, but like real.
Got it. So not like The Amazing World of Gumball.
No, but like, I have no idea what this movie was, but I remember I walked by and I started crying.
There's a scene in one of the Leprechaun movies where you see him like, I think you either see his tricycle or his feet going by under a car, like maybe Jennifer Aniston's hiding under a car or something, and he pedals by on a tricycle. And I do remember having nightmares as a kid where I was under a car and I'd see the Leprechaun pedaling around. You know what I mean? On the tricycle. Those movies are just weird. Those old slasher movies and
slasher.
stuff.
We should talk about comedy. We've
I was
talked
about
a lot
to transition.
Sorry, we've talked so much. I don't know what has happened to our podcast past couple weeks, but it's turned into a movie podcast. But
oh no, movies are funny.
Well, comedy movies though. I mean, that
is kind of what got us here.
Yeah.
Chasey B, when did you start doing stand-up comedy?
I started doing stand-up comedy with Blue Ridge. I'm headed into my second anniversary, my 2-year anniversary.
Really?
Hell yeah.
It was I did the class, and I watched a few open mics before the class started.
Yeah.
And because I'd always wanted to do comedy, and I had everybody telling me, "Hey, you should do comedy. You need to do comedy." And then I saw this Discover Bristol while I was scrolling Facebook, and I saw Sean at the Blue Ridge Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh heck yeah, I'm gonna try it." And
that's awesome.
So and then I'd hit a deer. I hit a deer.
Not
so
funny,
it delayed. No, it delayed the. That whole story is kind of like a scene out of Fargo. Like I was gonna do it on stage, I hit a deer, so I have to call him up. I've already paid for the class, and I said, "Hey, I've already paid for the class, but I've hit a deer, and I don't have a car right now. I'm waiting on the insurance and all that." I was like, "Can I maybe start the next class or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
So then when I get my car, I start going down and watching the open mics.
Yeah.
And the class started in March, and I didn't get up on stage. My oddly enough, 420 was the first.
Oh hell yeah!
First time I got on stage. Yeah, first time I got on stage. 420. Did the open mic.
That's awesome.
And I did the Good Friends, Great Friends, the whole where I sniffed the mic at the end.
You did that the first time on stage.
Yeah,
you did that. That's
like
amazing.
I did because I knew I had 5 minutes, so I didn't know what all I wanted to do, but I was like, I got to put that at the end because where do you go from there? And so
that's true.
Like I did a couple, and it was like and then when I did that, like it got a lot of laughs, and I was like, oh hell yeah,
and it felt great.
Yeah, and it felt great, and I was like, oh hell yeah, And then so from there,
you're hooked after that.
Yeah,
it's an addiction once you get that big laugh.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I got all these other notes, and stuff, these comedy ideas, and so I was working it out, and that whole Forbidden Fruits, like, how it came about was 2018. I was working at Walmart, and I was in grocery.
Thought.
Well, yeah, like. And I tell people this, the inspiration from it came, oddly enough, I got fired from Walmart, and it had to do with cantaloupes and watermelons.
Okay.
Not for those reasons,
right.
but yeah. Right. Like, I mean,
You're on a list now, right? Yeah.
No.
You tell neighbors when you move.
No, but I can tell you some more stuff about this, like crazy stuff that I found from doing this bit at shows. But
I bet. Yeah.
I was working at Walmart, and I was headed back, and there was a comedy book called Milk and Honey. Are you guys familiar with it?
I don't know.
I only know Blood and Honey.
Stop it. Do you know who wrote that?
I don't know. I think she might be Indian. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I know it's a female. I know, and it's all from a female's perspective, and like it's popular among females.
Yeah.
And I just opened the book up because it does look neat, and so I opened it up, and it's got this like pen and ink sketch, and it says he took his 2 fingers and carved her out like cantaloupe, and it's like got this like sketch of this like woman laying there, like, and you can tell she's naked, and then it's got this cantaloupe in front of the woman. So
what aisle was this book in?
Walmart?
This is in the book aisle, yeah.
At Walmart.
At Walmart.
You know what? Maybe we do need to ban books.
I need to spend more time at Walmart.
Like I'm pushing the dairy cart back there because I just got done stocking milk. And I go, you know what? I'm going to open this book.
Then you stocked a little more milk, am I right?
Yeah. So I opened the book up, and that's what I opened it up to. And it shows this cantaloupe, in the foreground, and it's like it had been carved or whatever. And I was like, wow, they really sexualized cantaloupe, And so,
that planted the seed.
Yeah, that planted the seed.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that planted the seed because I was like,
I hate it here.
I was like, you can't elope with it, but you can fuck it, And
right.
So I was just, that stayed in my mind.
That is a wild origin story.
Yeah, and then I get fired from Walmart over the cantaloupes and watermelons because, like, they were leaking, and I was like, hey, my manager told me that we should just put these little inflatable things, like they were to soak up the water or whatever.
Right.
And put a wet floor sign down. I was like, but I think what we need to do, and this is crazy, like Walmart is crazy because I told my assistant manager, I was like, I think what we need to do is we need to take them to the back and then find out which ones are busted and then throw them away and then bring them back. And
makes sense to me.
Yeah, like that's what
feels logical.
That's just,
then I go to my break and I go to lunch, and then when I come back, they have me do that or whatever, and then they fire me over it, and they said that like I put it off or whatever, that they had to tell me to do it, that I should have.
But it was your idea,
and I'm like, no, I told you guys. Yeah. So that was like my 4th coaching or whatever within a year. They had a messed up system.
You know what?
Then.
Let's boycott Walmart.
Yeah, let's
That's
boycott
what I think.
Walmart.
Nobody shop at Walmart.
For the longest time,
I
did.
You didn't?
Yeah.
I'm
I
on
wouldn't
board.
Go to Walmart. Yeah.
The 3 of us don't shop there. They're going under.
I'm on board.
They don't have much money.
I don't actually shop at Walmart because it's not close to me. But I tell you what, if I live near one,
not anymore.
Tear it
Not
up.
anymore. You don't.
I didn't eat at McDonald's for like a
no
week
value
after I
time
quit.
for you.
Yeah. Well, it was like a year before I went into my local Walmart, the one that I got fired from, and then when I went in there, they looked at me like I was an active shooter or something. They were like, "Oh my God, he's back."
Yeah, I guess it is weird.
They're nervous, like, what's he gonna do? Yeah,
yeah. And then I was just like, "Hey guys, what's up? I gotta go back here."
That's cool.
I was actually going fishing with Johnny.
Shout
out to Johnny.
Former guest
I was actually I was going fishing with him on his boat.
Yeah,
and so
you had to go to Walmart.
Yeah, so I had to go get a real quick. Yeah,
that's awesome.
You stopped at the book section while you were there?
No. But more on that forbidden fruit. So like, I was going. I would do the open mic, and I would just try different stuff out, and then I did that. But I did it like I knew what I wanted to do. With it on stage, as far as like the act out
to do that, because that takes some vulnerability to do.
Yeah, kinda. But like, see, my whole thing is I go for the absurd shit,
right?
Like, just the absurd, and I hope people understand that.
Yeah.
But they like there was this. I didn't know it, but there was this older woman in the crowd. She was a lawyer, and this like Chinese guy or whatever, he was a lawyer. They were lawyers in from Nashville, and like I just was humping the air,
sure,
with it,
as one does,
and and they were like, they were laughing and shit, and they loved it. Yeah. They loved it. Like afterwards, like she gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and she was like, "You were hysterical."
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" And that was the first time that I did it. And then so like the following week, I did something else, and then after that, they were like, somebody was like, "Hey, are you gonna do your fruit thing?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I can," And so like that's how I just started working.
Would you say that's your most requested bit of yours?
Yeah. And then like what I did was, because I still had that like good friends, great friends where I sniffed the mic,
right?
But I was like, I found a way to put it at the end of the whole forbidden fruits. And like it's just I came up with some like BS history, behind it. Because I actually did try to research, like, how did Cantaloupe get its name, and I could not find.
Right. So make it up.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just
Well,
if
anybody asks me how Cantaloupe get its name, I just tell them your story. I'm like, Chase knows how.
I have a confession to make. I have never seen your forbidden fruit.
Oh, you've never seen the beer?
That's right. That's right.
I know the general premise of it.
How many times have I told you that you have to see it though?
1,000
every time.
So I'm thinking back to like every show that we've been on or anything like that. So I will tell you a funny story. The first time I saw you, it was at an open mic, and I want to tell you about that.
Yes,
but
please.
like other than that, I've only seen you a handful of times, and like the last time I really saw you like perform was the Get a Good Tape show back in August or September.
Oh,
you didn't do it there.
That was a fun show, though.
Yeah.
You didn't do it there. So I just never, I've never seen it. I know the overall premise, but no, the first time I ever saw you ever, okay, I'd only been doing comedy for maybe 3-4 weeks. And you were super cool. And it was not too many people. There's only like 12 or 13 people on the list. And you were about to do a dark comedy showcase at the Wallace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you went on stage, and you went last, and you ate shit because it was a bunch of new jokes, and the whole time you were like, guys,
and it was dark.
You had a joke about a dog and stuff.
Oh yeah. I did the dog killer. Yeah.
I know that joke.
And it didn't do well. That
night at night at Blue Ridge. Yeah.
It was probably the first time
you were like
apologizing,
and then we were talking after the show. You're like, I'm funnier than that. Like it was so funny. Dude. That was the first time I ever met you.
Yeah, because I was like, because that whole bit, like that. I mean, that's inspired by a true story too.
Yeah.
Like, I did it down at the Wallace, and it did all right. But I really gotta. I want to try that again. I want to try that bit again. But then I have my little dog Millie too, and so like.
It feels wrong.
It does feel. Yeah, it feels bad.
Well, your forbidden fruit joke it's definitely your most requested joke, but it's also like I would say at Blue Ridge, it's one of the most talked about jokes too.
Oh hell yeah!
And that everybody's like, as soon as you come in the door, somebody goes, "I wonder if he's doing it tonight." God. Yeah, like that's all anybody wants. I mean, does that bother you that people associate you with one joke, or do you like it? I mean, you wrote it.
I like it. Like L.A. Preston, he. Shout out to L.A. Preston.
LA.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best promoters.
I just saw him
in this
a
area.
couple nights ago. Yeah,
he. The last time I did a show with him, he told me, he was like, "I like that you got, that's your baby." He's like, he's like, you know that's your most your best joke or whatever, and he said. You got that at the end, and like I was like, "Oh, thanks, man."
You ever thought about posting that joke?
Yeah, like I really have, but like I'm trying to figure out like what clip
Yeah.
The only reason
what part of it to post.
The only reason I ask, do you guys know who Angela Johnson is? She's a very funny. She's a clean comic. I don't know where she's based out of, but she's like touring. Like this is what she does. Like she's very famous. She got her big break in comedy because she had a joke about a nail salon. It was like a 5 or 6 minute.
I know that joke. Yeah,
5 or 6 minute bit.
You had no boyfriend. That one.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that.
5 or 6 minute bit about a nail salon. She had just started doing stand up 2-3 months prior.
That joke.
Posted that clip.
Yeah,
and that she was headlining before 6 months into comedy.
Wow. Well, here's what I'll say though about that joke is that's a while ago, and I remember I was younger. We were younger when that joke popped off. I remember my mom talking about it. It's like. I would say that probably got posted to MySpace or maybe Facebook. It's right around that time.
I think it was MySpace and Facebook. I think it was like when they were both relevant.
And at that point, Yeah, that whole algorithm, post something online and it blows up. That was brand new, so that's why I think today. Good. I mean,
maybe
good.
Yeah,
luck.
You never know. The only reason I say it is because it takes one.
Sure.
One clip.
Yeah.
And with how requested that joke is, again, from somebody who just knows the premise of it. I don't even know the punchlines out of it.
One of these days he's going to see it.
I just know
and
the
he's
premise.
going to go, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not telling you to post a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, could be a food for thought.
You mentioned the Wallace too. Stop it.
That was an unintentional pun, honestly.
You mentioned the Wallace too. Do you like performing there?
Oh God, I love it. Yeah. God,
isn't that a great architecturally?
I want to come back.
Win.
I want to come back. Yeah.
Me too. All of us.
Heck yeah.
All three of us have certainly all played at the Wallace. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think if all three of us was on a show at one time at the Wallace,
that'd be awesome.
I think it'd be a killer night.
Awesome.
Just want to tell Nathaniel to fuck himself real quick.
Michael's never been asked to play the Wallace. That's
no, you will.
That's
be
why
there.
I said that.
You will be.
He will be there. Yeah.
This guy is going to play at the Wallace.
That's right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Not based off my performance
yeah.
at the open mic this Wednesday. I'm not.
That is true. And actually, Phil Taylor was there to see that, so that's not a good look. But that's all right.
Yep.
Dude, how was that open mic?
For me, it was the worst.
Michael.
It was the worst bomb I've had in probably since I started comedy.
It was bad. It was bad. I'm his friend. It was bad.
We're friends now? Cool.
Yeah.
It was the worst bomb. Here's the thing. I took I unintentionally took a month off of comedy and I went out there and tried a bunch of new jokes that I just was not prepared to do.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I feel like I played it off well. Like I just laughed at myself with the crowd more than anything.
Here's what
I was
say.
not doing well with my jokes, so I just made fun of myself and got laughs and then got the fuck off stage. And Travis hugged me.
Yeah.
Before I got off that
That's
stage.
never good. That's never good.
That tells you how bad that bomb was. The host hugged me before I left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He also, so you figured that out because we were kind of in the back watching, obviously. And I think for me as a comedian, I don't know if you relate to this, Chase. Sometimes I learn more from watching other comics bomb than I do from them crushing, because you learn things not to do, or you just like ask yourself what went wrong there, because you can do it too. You can bomb too.
I'm nothing if not an educator.
Right, that's true. That's true. So I'm watching him have this set, and then about halfway through, I watched you switch from realizing that you're not going to dig yourself out of this with new jokes, and so that's when you started making fun of how bad it was going, or talking to the crowd and stuff, and being more reactive and improv, and then it started going well.
I ended on a hot note, but the first I did about 5 minutes, and like the first 2 minutes of it was just bomb. I even did I opened with the joke I've done 100 times, but it's been so long since I've done it that
you forgot.
I fucked the timing up of it and then messed up one of the punchlines, so it bombed, and then I rolled into a joke that I've only done one time.
Yeah,
and it just was not going well. And then 2 minutes, Anina said something. I don't remember what she said.
Something.
But the crowd laughed harder at it. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to bail on this joke and talk about what Anina just said.
And he said, he was like, it's always tough when a crowd member gets a bigger laugh than I have this entire time. And then, of course, that crushed. And then you were back on track. But, Chase, how much time are you doing a lot of open mics? You doing a lot of shows these days?
I haven't, honestly, I haven't done a show in 2024 yet.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're about 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna do a show in North Carolina yesterday with Matt Gilbert. It was with Johnny Caucasian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I couldn't make it to that show.
Yeah.
But I have Comedy Knockout.
Next weekend, I think. Actually, hey, this comes out on Friday. It's tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm on that
That's
too.
right.
Are you on that?
Yeah.
I am.
So, yeah, 3 of us are on Comedy Knockout tomorrow when this
Come
comes out.
watch us fist fight for
No, it'll
not
be good.
much money.
Come watch me bomb.
No, I treat it like a party. I always treat those like a party.
I have a good time at those,
The hang is what we're there for.
Yeah. And
because how often do you get 40 comedians in a room together? It's fun.
No,
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And then
my wife votes against me every round. It's fun.
I've got that open mic in Pigeon Forge.
For
at the 30th.
Ray Flasher.
Yeah,
Is that
Ray
that
Flasher.
One? Shout
Oh,
out
they're
to
bringing
Ray.
that back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the competition.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
different one.
Yeah, it's just an open
it's
mic.
open mic.
I think it's only 3 minutes too. But the way I see it is, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna do 3 minutes, and then hopefully network and set something up.
Yeah. He's a cool dude.
Show. Oh yeah,
he's a cool dude. I did a show for him. I don't know if it's at the same place. I think it is not as the show that I did.
It's different.
But if it is at the one I did, that stage is one of the best stages.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That place was awesome.
Yeah. Well, they call it the listening room.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
yeah.
a dope
stage
name
was
for
awesome.
just a venue.
Well, it's like a band stage.
They have it,
it's massive. It has 4 mics. It's so big. It's a massive
That's cool.
stage. It's cool. Yeah.
And then, I'm going to be doing the North Carolina show with Johnny Caucasian in April.
Is that at his
April
farm
16th.
or something?
No, this is at a brewery.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He does that festival at his farm.
And then
I think that's in Greenville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
really?
I think so.
Somewhere in there.
Tennessee or North Carolina?
Tennessee, I think.
Okay. Or
sure.
South Carolina. I think Greenville's in South Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think,
Okay. I was like, Jesus Christ. We driving out to South Carolina for this? No. Okay. Greenville, Tennessee is a lot closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he told me that L.A. Preston's booked that show. So,
okay.
is booked on that show. So
right.
Yeah, so far,
you mentioned,
so if you guys want to be on it, I mean, just reach out to him and be like, hey, man, because I think he told me it's like $25 plus tips and pizza, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
You're in. Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man.
That's nice. I mean, sometimes I'm sure most people listening to this are other comics or friends of ours or friends of comics that know the game, but if you're somehow listening to this and you don't know, we do so much ridiculous shit. I mean, we just drove 2 nights ago. I drove 3 hours for 15 minutes. The worst probably set I've ever had. Just not a great show overall. And then we did get paid, but from a lot of, I think if you're not a comedian, you would, from a comedian, if you're not a comedian, I think you would look at that and go, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you drive 3 hours to talk for 10 minutes?
No, I mean, we're trying to grow.
We're trying.
First out of Tri-City show I ever did was in Knoxville at Alley Ray's with
Adam.
Well, Adam booked me, but I drove down there with Sean Bagley, and we got booked for 7 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
And so we drive 2 hours there.
Yeah.
Both do our 7 minutes. And I'm forgetting the name of the comedian. He's been there a couple times now. He was a great, one of the best headliners I've ever seen. But anyway, me and Sean, we drive down there for 7 minutes each. Drive back 2 hours. Yeah. And on the way back, I'm like, Sean, we just did a 4-hour round trip.
For 7
minutes of comedy.
Yeah, dude, that's
and like
that's the game.
Yeah.
I said it on stage at that show that went so terrible on Friday. From stage, I was like, I don't know what happened to me as a kid that makes me want to do this to myself, but boy, this is fucking terrible. Like,
I always have fun. Like I just
you have to make fun of it. Yeah,
no, I have fun. Like I have fun on the way down.
Oh yeah,
I just treat it like a road trip.
I do like. Yeah, I've done the Alley Ray's drive by myself, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but like whenever you have like we've done the Alley Ray's drive. We've done Radford. We've done a couple other places like those long drives.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter as much.
Well, that 3-hour show, I was with Dustin and Meredith. So
where'd you go?
Those two. Madison, North Carolina. It's a little small town in North Carolina. It's one of LA shows out there, and the place was really cool. They just they had a lot of pool tables there, and they didn't stop the tables during the show. So like all through your set, they're just cracking balls and like breaking on new tables. And
God, yeah.
Halfway through, I was like, God, I wish I was over there playing pool instead of doing this shit right now. Like,
I'll say this: shout out to Adam Aaron with the Alley Ray's. Yeah, it's always
Smile
good.
Kid Productions.
Yeah, Smile Kid Productions.
Super fun show.
The first time I did that, and it's the only time that I've done it. That's when I met Gerard, and then I did it with Sean Carter and Meredith Kerr.
Oh, that's a hell of a show.
Yeah, they were there. Yeah, so I was like, oh hell yeah, like he just asked me to come down, so I was like, all right.
Yeah,
and that's how On the Glass.
I knew it.
Born.
I knew that's where we were going.
Because I stayed at the that hotel. My brother hooked me up with the his points that he gets.
Yeah.
Because he works for the railroad and where they stay in hotels.
Right.
They get these points and he hooked me up, and I was at that Crown Plaza, and God, it was super nice.
And you wrote that joke.
Yeah. Well, like it just came.
That's a funny joke. Right, you did that at the Get a Good Tape show.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, and then I did it down there.
Yeah.
And it was my first time doing it, but I didn't really have it wrote out. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, and then I wrote it out more.
Yeah.
And did it more, and it just, as you do it, it just gets more,
better. Of course. Yeah.
My one of my favorite jokes I have, I did it for like 4 months when it while it was not funny. And it's kind of funny.
Just pushed through.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was funny. It's the joke about my childhood, the memories of my childhood and everything. And it's funny now.
I remember when that wasn't funny too.
It was not funny for a long time. But now I know how to tell it.
There's a great interview one time with Louis C.K. where they're asking him about that. And he said that his favorite jokes of his always started as the jokes that the crowd hated.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know if a crowd hates it, that's going to be one of my best jokes. I just have to figure out how to get it from there to now they like it. Like he's like, if it's too dark, if it's pushing the line and they rebel against it, that's good. I just need to figure out how to reel it in just a hair to where it's right on the line and they love it. You know, well, Louis a different kind of comedian though. Like his whole goal is to turn the audience against him and win it back. That's kind of a different thing than what we do. Yeah. And and if they say yes.
I have a question for you, Chasey B. So you've been doing comedy for 2 years next month, right? So surely you've had a bomb or two. What's the worst bomb you think you've ever had?
Oh man, I can tell you this story. Let me go with the long pour here.
I was about to say it's a very dramatic water pour.
For the Spotify listeners, he's pouring water into his coffee.
Oh, they heard. Yeah, it sounded like a fresh spring.
The worst bomb was during my first year of doing it was like maybe I wasn't even 6 months into comedy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do this clean bit, because you figure, we're trying to figure this out. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna be clean, or like I'm gonna be like right in the middle, and I'm not gonna try to be like clean.
Yeah, clean's tough.
Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, well, there was this talent show over in West Virginia, and I saw it, and I emailed the guy, and he's like, yeah, come on over. And, I mean, it was over in Welch, West Virginia. Like,
oh, wow.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Like,
it's way over there.
Oh, man, it's like back in the boonies.
I know, I know Charleston and Hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
West Virginia, that's it.
Welch, McDowell County apparently is like one of the roughest in the nation. Yes, I don't know, but like it was cool over there, like going over there because I forget where we performed at, but so it was nothing but strangers. Like I didn't know anybody, So that was kind of intimidating, but it was kind of cool too.
Do you like that though?
Yeah, I mean,
I prefer that.
Yeah, I
prefer not knowing them at all.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of little kids.
Ooh,
and
I don't like that.
Don't like that.
So like,
I love it.
And it being West Virginia, it was still pretty diverse because I mean, you had like, you had a good mixture of white and black people, and I did. Well, first of all, like I get up there. And the host, he was like, all right, tell us a little bit about yourself and everything. And so I'm telling him. And then when I tell him he goes, how old are you? And then I told him my age.
Yeah.
There's these older women in the crowd, and they're like, no, why?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, this guy, no, he can't be that old. And I'm like, yeah. So
I'm with them on this, by the way.
How old are you?
Hold on, pause 1 second.
If you're okay with it.
Like, oh, yeah, I'm totally fine
Time
with
out
it.
1 second. I want you to know that right up there with your melon bit, how that's the talk of the club, the other talk of the club is, did you know how fucking old
I know you're older. I know you're older than I thought you were.
There's so many people that I have told your age, and they go, that's not true. There's no way.
Me included. He didn't. I don't remember what he told me.
Yeah.
But do you want to know my guess?
Yeah.
For you, I think you're like 25, 30 at the oldest.
Yeah, see, look,
30 at the oldest.
I'll be 40 years old this month. I'll be 40.
People argue about your age in the club every day, Chase. Every day somebody goes, you're
awesome.
You were talking about seeing movies in fucking 1990, and I was like,
I know.
Maybe he is a little older than I think he
alive?
is.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I tell, like, and I've said this on stage a few times, but I'm like, I'm the real life Peter Pan, and then I say, or maybe the real life Peter Griffin's more like it, and then I go, or whatever.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times.
What's your secret, though?
Hold on, you just made me think. You have an opener. You have an opener. It's like a one-line opener. And I want the candy opener.
Oh yeah.
I want you to know
it's great
that. Yeah, and I don't know whose I like more. I don't know if I like Jared's opener or your opener.
It's
more.
Close.
I don't know which one I like more, but they're
two of the best,
neck and neck.
Two of the best.
I would love for you guys to go comedy knockout. You get one joke.
Just that.
You get one joke each.
Well, that might be tomorrow, so come check it out.
Sean, if you're watching, I don't think you are. Put them up against each other and say they have to do their opener, and that's the only joke they can do. And see who wins, because I want to know who wins.
Do you know Jared's that we're talking about, the Oklahoma?
Yeah,
joke? So good. It's so good.
Both of your, like, those two openers, The first time I heard your opener, it was at a comedy knockout.
Yeah, that was the first time I did that joke, and see, I think that's why
it crushed.
Yeah, and that's really been the only time that it's really crushed because, like, it's crazy because I wasn't even expecting the whole. I've been spending a lot of money on candy to
get pop
to get the crush,
right?
You know, because I was thinking that's going to be the setup for she's a stripper,
right?
And,
right.
And that gets the laughs. Yeah. I'm like, all right, and then but yeah.
I think the way you just jump right into it on stage, similar to Jared, like a lot of people, and me,
you have to open with it, or it's not going to hit the same.
Right. And I'll shout out.
That has to be the first fucking thing you say on that stage.
I'll take blame too. I am awful about. I cannot, for whatever reason, go on stage and just open with a joke. I have to pander. My anxiety. I have to go. How y'all doing tonight? Like
I can't open.
It's
either.
so hard to just jump right into a joke like that, like a cold open. Jared's great at it, but we did an open mic one time in Chattanooga during the Chattanooga Comedy Festival. It's a 1 minute rapid fire open mic. Everybody is just up there, joke, and I go up, and my nerves, I'm just like, how y'all doing? I was like 30th on the list. They've been asked how they're doing 30 times. It was awful.
You spent 15 seconds.
But I just can't. I spent 15 seconds of my minute just pandering.
Spent a quarter of your set talking to the crowd.
Yeah.
No,
some comedians are just better at that, and that makes me think, Chase, you mentioned when you first started, you went to a couple open mics before you ever went up. Was there a local, like a Blue Ridge comedian at that time who stuck out to you that you remember seeing crush or something?
Oh,
like
yeah.
that?
Well, like,
or
I'll
was
be
nice
honest
to you, maybe?
We gotta shout it out right here. I believe I kind of weirded him and Sean out, but when I started, you guys seen Rocky 3, right?
Yeah.
You know how Clubber Lang is in the crowd watching Rocky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how I was watching Travis Stevenson. I was like, okay, this is the guy, because like I saw,
he's the man.
I saw where he had won that their comedy competition.
Right.
Yeah, whatever it was that year. Yeah. Whatever it's called.
And so I was like, all right, so he's the guy, like, like
you're yelling at Kayla, like, "Hey, woman,
no,
come over here and get yourself a real man."
I was sitting there. No, I was not doing that. No, but no, I was sitting there recording, and
Travis,
and I think Sean. I think that's why he said, "Hey, don't record anybody. You can't record anybody."
Oh,
And I was like, because. I didn't.
You were just happy to see him. That's why
I was just happy to be there, and I was like, all right, because I didn't know much about Travis, but everybody with Blue Ridge has been very, it's very welcoming. It's great,
which is rare
community.
in the comedy community.
Yeah. And I'll say this: the same thing about up in Virginia, up in Blacksburg with Catherine Rogue and the VT Comedy Conglomerate.
Zach Acid,
all of them, and it's all been this great network, and and I'm gonna say this: Lost in Taste, that's one of my favorite places. Like,
I've heard that.
I've heard that. You guys got to do it.
And I've heard the coffee pot.
Reach out. I haven't done the coffee pot. Wait, the coffee pot. I don't know. I haven't done the coffee pot. The milk parlor is the one in the basement. Right.
I haven't done that.
I love that. I love the feel of that. Like, you go down in this basement. Yeah. It's all like grungy type. Cool. Yeah. I'm not going to get the food there again because it was all right, but it wasn't all right.
Yeah.
I was like,
sure. Yeah.
I know a venue like that.
Yeah. But,
anyway.
But,
earlier, going back to this forbidden fruits bit.
Yeah.
So, like, we mentioned Johnny Caucasian's thing. I did the Hemp Fest or whatever.
That's what I was talking about.
The first year, it was back in November of 2022. I did the Hemp Fest, and afterwards, because there were, there's all these bands, and there was this band called the Lucky Hucksters or whatever, and they were pretty cool.
That's cool.
And I think the guy, it was either a drummer or a guitarist, but he was like, "Hey man, I loved your set," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he goes, "That's how I met my wife." And I went, "What?" And he was like, "I met my wife he said, I sent her this video of me fucking watermelon." And I was like, "What?" And he was yeah. He said, "That's like she was really impressed, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And
is there any other art form like stand-up comedy? Can we just appreciate that interaction for a second?
Yeah, I was like, "Wow, man!
That
like,
is not
there must really be something to this, or whatever." Because before that,
how romantic!
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. Right?
Oh, I know. Yeah,
I'm at a loss for words.
Lost in taste.
That happened. Shut up. I'm at a loss for words. That that happened. And B, that guy is sharing that with strangers.
It is a weird move to come up to you and be like, "Hey, man,
I don't care what you're joking about."
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, don't share that.
Don't tell people.
Yeah, like there's some things just keep to yourself.
Yeah,
if that worked for you, good.
Now,
but shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
Now, before that though, I forgot about this. But before that, I was I'd done Seven Sisters up there in Withville, with L.A. and and Joe was up there. Yeah, and. The night that I'd done it, like I'd brought all my family. So my friends and family were mainly in the crowd, but there was this couple, and this girl and I were friends on social media now. But afterwards, she was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you," and so I went with them to the Log House or whatever. It's this like bar restaurant up there, and we were just sitting there chilling outside because it was the summer. And we were having some drinks, and she was like, "Okay, I think she said like 5 things I got to talk to you about, like I got to ask you about." And I was like,
"Stranger at this point."
Yeah, like I'm just meeting this girl, but she's 5 really
things
attractive.
Is a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. That's a long list. Yeah,
yeah.
That is a lot of things to put. Yeah,
I forget what all she asked me about, but then the last one. She was like, "Okay, the last one I got to ask you about is, do you really fuck fruit?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "That is for entertainment purposes. Yeah. It's just that is just, I'm not a fruit fucker." Like, is it okay to cuss on here?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. And we're going to put out this message publicly because we want folks to know Chasey B is not a fruit fucker. Yeah, so stop asking him. Yeah. We've had enough. Yeah. Yeah. But they're going to know.
So then she proceeds to tell me that she does like these virtual reality sex dungeons. Like she's got this like sex toy
in VR.
And the like Oculus headset, and that she goes to these like sex dungeons.
What a wild way for a stranger to talk to you.
Yeah.
After a show to be like, "You want to go hang out and talk about my VR sex
And what's
dungeon?"
crazy is her boyfriend at the time, they broke up, but
you're keeping real good tabs on this girl.
Yeah, well, I mean, no,
wouldn't you?
I just ran into her at the barter over the holiday, and I was like, "Hey, how's I forget his name," and then she was like, "Oh no, we're not together anymore." And I was like, "Oh," so of course I had to follow it up the next day with it was great to see you.
Do you think he got tired of the VR? You think he was like, "Why do you always have to put
that
headset
on?" No, I don't know.
Like,
I really don't know. But I mean, yeah, she's attractive, and I was sitting there thinking, "Oh God, this guy is a total dweeb." Like I couldn't see it. Like
Michael's face through this conversation. The VR thing is interesting. So here's the question, because on the drive, we had a 6-hour round trip for the show on Friday. Meredith and Dustin and I pretty much just talked about insane things I won't repeat for 6 hours. But one of the questions was, Meredith was like, "Do you think that men take it personally when women do things like that? Like as far as like toys or like whatever in the bedroom?" And I made the joke where I was like, I think most guys don't have a problem with it until you start putting on VR goggles. Like if she's putting on goggles when we get to the bedroom, it's a problem. It's offensive at that point because you're trying to pretend you're somewhere else. Do you agree with that, Michael? Because you still seem in shock from this whole conversation.
I agree. I'm just like, do you remember whenever we had Pruitt on last and we talked about how we need to bring bullying back?
Yes.
I don't think that girl's bullied enough to
true.
be sharing that with strangers.
She needs to be. Well, stand up. I think because you're so transparent on stage, and even though it's not true, even though that joke is not true, she thinks that you're so open and transparent, so they feel comfortable sharing things with you. Because I've had that, like, obviously my act is very different, but my act, I talk about my dad leaving or things like that, and I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, "Hey man, I had a young mom," or "My dad left, I can relate to you."
But that's normal.
I know.
That's normal.
But I'm saying this crazy bitch also just wanted a connection. But she's wild.
Hey, I was raised by a single mother too. Yeah. That's like just something you would talk about in general.
That's crazy. And if you could forward us her username on Instagram, that'd be great.
I'm good.
I'm keeping that to myself.
Good gosh. I can't think of anything crazy that anyone's told me. I mean, minus being just straight up offered drugs multiple times, but like
that's true. Sometimes you're tipped in.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. we've been tipped in drugs before together.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But dude, I get offered for somebody who does not do drugs. I get offered drugs a lot.
It's just stand up.
I don't do drugs, but
it's just stand up. Scott's honor.
Yeah, like what's crazy is what's crazy is when I first started doing stand up, I was like, okay, at what point do I develop a cocaine addiction?
Yeah.
You know,
at what point do I take my writing to the next level?
It does come with the territory. Yeah.
And then there was a comic at that first Blue Ridge comedy. It was Blue Ridge is Funniest in 2022.
Yeah.
There was a comic, and he was like, hey, you want to do some cocaine?
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, man. I was like,
I'm not there
I was
yet.
like, no.
I'm not successful enough for the cocaine addiction.
Yeah. I was like,
I can't afford it
awesome.
yet.
Yeah. Like, he was like, oh, man, it'll, and he was telling me, like, it'll give you a lot of energy, this and that.
Yeah,
like,
I've heard of what
that's a cool sales pitch.
Yeah, buddy, I know what coke does.
Yeah. I was like,
he's like, step right up. He's giving you the old sales pitch. Well, a lot of comedians need something like that, or even a few drinks or something to go on stage. But do you have like a pre-show ritual that you do before you go up? And maybe not every time, but just like, how do you get in the, because I think we probably all had, where you're just sitting on your couch all day, or maybe you've had a terrible day or things go wrong, and then it's like, oh shit, now it's showtime, I have to go be funny. So sometimes it's hard to just get in the mood or like amp up.
I'll be honest, I try not to let anything like I try not to subject myself to anything negative or whatever. Like, I really try not to talk to anybody like in general. Because I just, I don't want them to tell me something sad or something like that.
Right.
Or,
and it gets in your head.
Just like get in a, get in an argument with somebody. Like, so I just sort of I used to just jerk off, like early, if I'm being honest,
get your head right, man.
Yeah, I used to, like early in the morning or whatever, just what they call it, unloading the gun.
I love it.
Yeah,
and that's the answer Nathaniel was digging for.
When I asked the question, I don't know that I knew that's the answer I wanted, but I can confirm now that's the exact answer.
That's what he was looking for.
Like
I was thinking, like I play a certain song on the drive to the club.
Yeah, I do. I really do play music, certain music. Like one of the songs, like right before I get to the club, because it's like 8 minutes long. It's "Cashmere" by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, that's a perfect one.
I mean, I've never done cocaine, but I imagine that's what cocaine feels like.
Yeah,
is that song
in a song. I've said this before. I used to have a bit about. I think that AC/DC is cocaine in music form.
Yeah.
I think same thing.
Yeah,
if you're blaring like "Whole Lotta Rosie" on the way to the club, you're gonna crush. You're gonna go up there, or you're at least gonna look like you're having fun while you're bombing.
I like to listen to "For Those About to Rock."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Anything that just gets you pumped up. And sometimes I'll do hip hop too, something just that makes me feel kind of cool, like I know what I'm doing, even though I don't.
But I listen to some smooth jazz.
It's a weird move.
Just kidding. I listen to folk music because
he's crying before he goes up. He's crying.
Before we wrap up, we do have one more question for you. So
an important question.
You've been in comedy for.
Wait, before that, let me just say this: "Paradise City" is my shower song. Paradise City. Yeah, because
and we'd like the folks at home to know that.
Yeah, because it's just under 7 minutes, and then that way I don't spend too long in the shower. And
so it's more of a timer for you. That way,
right? Because a shower song, I feel like everybody needs a shower song.
Yeah, and when you hear it wrapping
fire
up,
in the flames.
Yeah,
kind of a weird way to clean yourself.
To really get it going. No,
mine's fresh and so clean. Yeah.
So mine is never mind.
Moving on. Yep.
So before we wrap up,
you've
been in comedy for just under 2 years. So really you have some experience with it. Mm-hmm. If you had a newer comic come up to you, just like, hey, what's some advice you'd give me to keep doing this or to get better at it? What would you give them?
So my advice that I would give to anybody that is just starting out or just, new with comedy is, and it's advice that I have to give myself constantly too, is, like, it's not a race, you're not racing anybody or anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's, just take the time to, develop stuff. And just, let's see.
Well, I feel like really the only race is with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone's just competing with you last week.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
A lot
you
of
get
times.
better.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone gets better at their own. I mean, some people can do 5 open mics a week. Some people do 1 open mic a week. You know what I mean? It's
whatever
like,
you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't. For me, I do 1 a week. I can't compete with Nathaniel, who does like you get to do like 3 to 4 sometimes.
It depends. It depends on the.
What
month.
all open mics are you doing?
So right now, I'm super excited to start hitting this one in Knoxville again on Sunday. Shout out to my boy Justin down there at the E-Vape. Tavern.
Yeah.
That one, for whatever reason, Justin has they've cracked the code. They've figured it out. They're getting folks piled in there.
Yeah.
And so it's just a
Hell
hot
yeah.
open mic. And so that's on Sunday nights. I'm actually hosting one. So if you're listening to this.
Tonight, right?
No, it's on, it's been moved. It's the 24th.
So next Sunday?
Sunday the 24th when this comes out. Yeah. Next Sunday, if you're in Knoxville or if you're going to be, bored, come down there and check us out. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then, But Chase, I mean, aside from just keep doing it and develop, is there one piece of advice that you feel like somebody's maybe given you also? Because I feel like you mentioned Blue Ridge is so helpful. People have tons of advice.
Don't record Travis. Other than that,
that's good advice.
No, like just shoot, I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank though.
No, you're good, man.
I think develop material, and it's not a race. It's honestly great advice because I don't think we've had a guest say that exactly, but it's true. Like you're moving at your own pace.
Yeah, because I mean, like, like you might see like a comic that's out there and like they've been doing it for like it seems like like maybe they blew up, 2 or 3 years after they started doing it or something like, it's, just don't put that expectation.
Right.
Don't really,
They're in a different spot when they started,
Yeah.
And don't put that pressure on yourself too, because I think a lot of young comics, and I'm certainly guilty of this, it is a competition in the way that you want to be funnier. You want to be as funny as this guy who you think is funnier than you and stuff. So sometimes you can get in your own head and go, well, I'm not as funny, or I'm not as, I don't have as many shows. We have friends who will post their lineups for the month, all their shows.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I see those, and your instinct is to go, damn, he's doing more than me.
Yeah.
And feel, but you got to get out of that. You got to conquer that, because that's just,
I talked to Sean about that because I was like, man, because where I was working a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's FOMO. And I was like, FOMO? Mm-hmm. And he's like, fear of missing out. Yep. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, I see that. Like,
that's true.
Yeah. I just, because there's stuff that I want to do. Like, I want to have like a podcast,
Hell yeah.
But I want to call it like the Chase Hutton Show.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
And and then like.
And we will be your guest. Thank you for asking.
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'll be first, he'll be second.
Well,
I'm
I'll
not
say
coming
this,
if he goes first.
And I think I speak for everybody listening today. Chasey B, you are welcome back on this show anytime.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I love
this.
Like, this has been killer. But
anytime.
I feel like we got away from me and my bombing thing. Like,
well, we're gonna have to wrap up, so you're gonna have to tell us that next time.
Ooh, cliffhanger for the listeners.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Because Chasey B will be back. We're gonna have him back, and we also we're gonna have we've got 3 comedians lined up as the next 3 weeks. I don't know exactly what order we're gonna have them. I'll just tell you this right now: if you're listening, the next 3 episodes are gonna be banging.
One of them and I are gonna talk to Nathaniel like we're better than him because we do CrossFit.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's a hint for any of our listeners, but
they know who it is.
Yes.
They do CrossFit.
They do.
This person
CrossFit.
does CrossFit. Yeah, it's
better than
awesome.
me.
Yeah, that's true too.
Did a partner workout with them one time and they kicked my ass.
Chase, do you have any shows coming up? You mentioned 2 during the show, but feel free to plug whatever you want. Social media, anything for the listeners.
Yeah.
Chasey B Live on TikTok. Chasey B Live on Facebook, Chasey B Live on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
That is, I'm trying to grow those. Hadn't really put a whole lot of material out there, but I'm trying to get more social media clips, Like, maybe I could get a clip from this show.
Absolutely.
We'll have a clip.
We've got several. There'll be several out.
I'm still a budding comedian is what.
We all are. Yeah. But this show, one exciting part of this show is we want that to be a platform, like where we get in here, we joke around, we have fun, but we want to share that. And so if you're listening to this, follow us on TikTok as well. Yep. It's actually through my TikTok, through InBooer Comedy, but go through Talkin Bits Pod on Instagram. We're going to tag Chasey B. You'll be tagged in the Spotify. Yep. Everybody, please follow Chasey B.
I would
check
buy
him
one
out.
of these mugs.
Michael Rose Comedy,
and we're going to start selling them.
Threads.
That's right.
So
And real quick, too, just before we do wrap up, Chasey B asked me about Don't Tell before we got started. Don't Tell comedy, for anybody who's listening and doesn't know, and I'll probably use this as a promo, so shout out to Don't Tell. Don't Tell comedy, we've got our very first date coming up on March the 23rd. So that is about a week out when you're listening to this, maybe 2 weeks.
Saturday the 23rd, right?
Saturday the 23rd, 8 p.m. If that one sells out, we're adding a late. So sell that bitch out. We're going to keep adding them. I can't say who the headliner is. I'll tell you after the show. It's all a secret. You won't know what comedian is there until they step up to the microphone. And you won't even know where the show's at until 12 hours before showtime. You'll get an email.
How many comedians do you have on a show?
We're going to have 6 on this one. We're going to have 6, including myself. I'll be hosting for the evening since it's our first one. So it's a Johnson City business. We're happy to partner with them. They've been awesome. So if you're listening to this, the 23rd.
He can't tell you, so I will.
Perhaps I could be a part of one in the future.
Absolutely. Everybody who has been on this show is in the running. If you are listening to this and you're interested, Don't Tell Comedy, Don't Tell Tri-Cities on Instagram. You can find tickets. And that is our show.
Everyone who's been on the show?
Heck
you want to hang your hat
Not
on
everybody. Okay, I take it back. Several people who have been on this show will be invited. Yeah.
Most. All right.
That's our show.
That's it, guys. We love you all. Thank you for checking in.
Chasey B, thank you for being here.
Like, subscribe, do the stuff.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.